Hello, YouTube fans. This is the CHUCKY. I'm here to talk about something real quick. I'm not gonna be too loud because it's like almost like 5. Well, it's actually it's about 4:02 in the morning. But moving on, I want to talk about something real quick. I want to talk about what if we ever get a Super Smash Brothers movie. I think I've talked about this before, but I need to talk about it separately as its own video. Um, as myself, basically, as like truly TheSkullKlown, yes, but as more of myself also at the end of the day. I don't mind if there is a Super Smash Brothers movie, but people want to complain saying that, oh, you're acting like, well, how is it going to make sense with these live action versions? And I'm over here like, so you need to tell me it needs to connect to make it make sense for you? What if the Super Smash Brothers movie? Have you seen the Lego movie? What if they just did that for Super Smash Brothers movie? Automatically just pan out, and either two things will happen: a gamer that's playing Super Smash Brothers Ultima because it's the recent game, basically, and they're playing it, and then it zooms out, showing that the person that's actually playing the movie it's actually the game, basically. Does that make sense? Now, it doesn't have to be Ultima, that's just an example, but it would make sense if they did do it as Ultima. Why? Because it's the most recent one. Now, if they bring another Smash Brothers game, which most likely they will if they ever make a movie, but most most people might be like it's too early for a movie if they ever do make a Super Smash Brothers Ultima movie. And I agree, it is too early. I think we need a Legend of Zelda movie, and most people might say a Metroid movie, but I'll save that after the Super Smash Brothers movie. To be quite honest with you, that's what I would do. But that's just me. But the Super Smash Brothers games does not have to be connected at all to none of these series, guys. They don't have to be connected. They could be its own thing, a what if scenario, and it could be gigantic and big. Technically, it's already like that, anyways. It's a what if scenario of all these Nintendo characters or video game characters fighting each other. That's all it is. People want to for kind of loud. There was a time when the first Super Smash Bros. Came out. Believe it or not, people tend to forget about this. The first Super Smash Bros. Game, when it first came out in Japan, people despised that Mario can fight Samus or some shit. They couldn't fathom that. They couldn't fathom that Mario can fight Zelda and shit like that. They couldn't fathom that. They couldn't fathom that. Sorry about that. Put the internet on here. Okay. Hold on for a minute. Just going back. They couldn't fathom that. Sorry, it glitched. It glitched for a moment, for a couple of times, so I have to say it again. But yeah, from what I've heard at the time, is what they were thought about. That's what the mindset was at the time. Oh, why is Mario fighting Link and shit like that? That's stupid. Why is Link fighting Kirby or something? But in America, when this game came out in America, people freaked out. Not in a bad way. In a way that people were like, yes, yes. Mario fighting Kirby? Mario fighting Donkey Kong? Like shit like that. Sorry, the internet's slow. I apologize. You know what? For that, I just turn off the Wi-Fi because I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, hopefully I can get some good lighting here. Anyways, um, hopefully you can listen to me with headphones or anything like that. If I'm too low on volume. But again, I don't mind a Super Smash Brothers movie. It doesn't have to be connected to none of the movies or none of the Mario or nothing of the Mario movies. Come on, guys. We don't have to have anything connect to this stuff. Look at for a good example. Look at the What If series from Marvel. We're about to get a what if series with We're gonna get a what if series with Star Wars. I'm up for that shit. Yes, give me a what if series with Star Wars. Hell yeah. Um, and I don't care. That's the thing. some people out here complain about new stuff. Like I've been hearing stuff that people hate about the new Infinite Crisis animated movie with Batman and Superman and all of them together and stuff like that. People complain, people saying it doesn't make sense and everything like that. I haven't watched it, but I'll say this right now. Guys, it doesn't matter if you hate it. It's in another dimension. Meaning that it doesn't fucking matter if you hate it or not. It's in another universe. You don't like this part of the universe? Good. Watch something else. Oh, that doesn't matter. Yes, it does, dude. The hell's wrong with you? It's like everything in photo media. It's just in a different universe. Me and my friend have always talked about this, and we have always accepted it to the point that we're like, yeah, yeah, of course. That's why when we look at interpretations, we're open enough to be like, you know what? It might not be a good movie or the best movie, but it has some highlights. And we're not saying the movie is shit for crying out loud. We'd be the first ones to tell you when we watch the live action version of the Avatar, the M. Night Shyamalan version. We came out of that theater telling my mom picked me up. She's like, "How was the movie?" Both of us, I literally said the movie sucked. The movie sucked. The mom was like, she was disappointed because she was like, "You wasted money to watch that movie." I'm like, "Yeah, it sucked." And Thila was just like, "Yeah, it wasn't that good." My friend was literally like, "Yeah, it's not that good." It's not that good. It literally is not that good. And people want to talk shit about the Netflix version, and I would talk about a whole video about the Netflix version when I'm done with finishing with the series. I put a pause on it because I'm doing something else, doing other things. Because I'm playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and focusing on myself and stuff like that. So I'm doing other things. But anyways, I have no complaints with the last Airbender, Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix version. It's actually pretty good. The fact that they do, the fact that they they do different viewpoints, I like that. I'm happy that they did that. To be honest, I feel like people talk shit about it just because it's not exactly how the animated version is. And I'm like, guys, what the fuck's wrong with you? It's the same thing with the Scott Pilgrim shit. You guys don't like the animated version of Scott Pilgrim because it's not paying on. They're not looking at the comic books. And when we hear like they already made the comic book, and and they made a live action version of it. They made a video game of it. That's why when they made the Scott Pilgrim version, Scott Pilgrim takes off. I was all like, what they're gonna do something new because it looks like they're just doing the same thing. What is new here? That is what I was trying to point out. Sometimes you could do something the same, which people expected with Final Fantasy VII. Maybe something's different, but all around it was still cohesive and was a um and still was a good reflection and a good complement to the original Final Fantasy VII. Basically, that's all the remake people. That's all truly the hardcore Final Fantasy VII fans really wanted with Final Fantasy VII remake. That's all truly what they wanted. Of course, things had to be changed. Of course, things had to be different. But to the extent that we got from that, that's completely different from what we see with the Scott Pilgrim stuff. Because it's still in the lore of Scott Pilgrim. It's still talking about Scott Pilgrim. And it's still talking about other stuff in that world of Scott Pilgrim with all the other characters. Because if you read the comic book, it's not just Scott Pilgrim, it's all the other characters he crosses by. If you read the comic book. That's what me and my friend appreciate that fucking show, because that show is really good. And that's why I don't get when people hate some of the stuff with Super Smash Bros. And other stuff that should be like connected and stuff like that. But like, oh, how come that's not connected? I'm like, why it has to be? And the same thing with the new DC movie of Crisis and Infinite Earth, the animated series with all those DC characters coming together. Some people say it doesn't make sense in these other things, but I'm over here like it's in a different universe, dude. It's in a different universe. You can still complain about the mistakes and all that stuff, and that's fine. But you gotta think to yourself first. First, you gotta think to yourself first before all of this freaking superhero stuff that you're seeing. You gotta think about this first. All of this stuff is in a different universe, a different timeline. Just like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man is different from what we having with the Spider-Man that we have now. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's universe is different from Tom Holland's Spider-Man universe. Why is that so hard for some people? I've always put that in my head, even with horror movies, even with horror remakes. That's why when Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 remake came out, I was just like, it's in a different universe. It's in a different realm, in a different world. That's not the original. I'm not saying it's good. I would never, but I will point out if I like it or not. You know? Obviously. I will point things if I like it or not, but if you don't like it, that's fine. But I will have to just point out that it's just different universes. So for everyone to hype up and get mad at it is kind of, I don't know. Not to say we can't talk about it, maybe rant about it, because that's what YouTube is all about, baby. You know, but you still gotta keep that in mind that it's in a different universe. Look at these Halloween movies. I hate these Blumhouse Halloween movies. I hate them. I didn't even watch the last one. I just hate them. Why should I watch the last one? The first two I didn't fucking like. I went to the movie theaters for the first Blumhouse Halloween movie, and I was just like, well, I walked out of that theater literally saying, at least I saw Michael Myers on the big screen. That's all I took from that movie. And you can like that movie all you want, and that's fine. There's people that like the Child's Play remake, which I would never get. Same thing with the Blumhouse Halloween movies. People like those movies, and I would never get why. But you guys like it, and that's fine. Some of you guys like it, and that's fine. I still haven't watched the Child's Play remake. I still haven't. I will accept that's in a different universe. Of course, I will accept that. But that doesn't mean I have to watch it. You understand that? That's what I'm trying to convey when people talk shit about some of this DC stuff. You guys can hate the DC movies that Warner Brothers is giving out, and that's fine. I'm just enjoying for the ride and having a ball with it and laughing and enjoying the stuff that I like. I'll get back to Super Smash Brothers later, but I want to say this: the recent Flash movie, the highlight for that Flash movie, that CGI mess fest, is literally Superwoman and Batman. Those are the two highlights of that movie. And the fact that they kill them off in that movie is bullshit. That is the biggest flaw in that movie. And I don't know if I will ever talk about this movie in this channel, but I'll talk about it here. That's the biggest flaw in that movie. And it put me off. Once I saw that shit in that movie, because I was having a good time, to be quite honest, with that Flash movie. I was. I knew it was going to be shit. I knew it was going to be horrible, but I had a good time. I had fun. The cheesiness, the badness, I was like, here we go. Oh, Michael Keaton's doing great. You have this woman that's being Superwoman. Oh, she's great too. Oh, I like it. And then you kill them off, and you killed the best parts of the whole movie. Now I don't give a shit about the movie. I told my friend that. He was like, I'm like, I just don't care about it now. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. And I was over here literally excited for this Flash movie before I heard the bullshit that was coming out for this movie. I was excited for this Flash movie because you know why? Because I wanted this Flash movie to pay homage to literally the movie that we got when the Flash goes back in time and Batman and Bruce Wayne is dead and his mom and dad are Joker and freaking Batman. That is the movie that I wanted so fucking bad. But Warner Brothers didn't do shit, and that is your fault, Warner Brothers. That was money right there, lying, waiting to be made as live action, and you didn't do crap with it. There would have been merchandise still to this day up the ass of Thomas Wayne Batman and Martha Wayne as the Joker. There would have been freaking merchandise up their fucking ass with those characters still to this day. Why? Because the same characters that remind me of Thomas Wayne as Batman and Martha Wayne as Batman reminds me of the Joker movie. When I watch that shit, I'm all like, why are you not going to do a Bruce Wayne and Martha Wayne movie? Them becoming Batman and Joker. I will watch that shit. You got my money right there. I'm dead serious. I want that movie. We need a movie like that. Most people are like, I don't know if we don't need. Maybe we don't need it. But you know what? It would be nice if we did had it. Technically, it was kind of close that we did kind of get it with Batman and Superman. In the opening of it, pick those actors. I don't give a fuck. I know the kid is older now, but fuck it. Pick those actors that you saw in Batman vs. Superman, recast Bruce Wayne as another kid, and boom, you got it right there. There's your movie. Because I can't see anyone play those characters of the Martha Wayne Joker, and Thomas Wayne Batman, except for those actors. Do I need anyone else to play them? I don't know. Maybe there's someone that can. But in my opinion, those two actors that were in Batman vs. v Superman that played Martha and Thomas Wayne, that's it. That should be them. And there's a reason why there's fan art of it. There's fan art of it mainly because people want to see that shit for them. Because it fits with them. It just fits with the structure and all that. It screams. You know how you see something on screen, on movie screens or TV screens, and it just pops out of this person should be this character? Has that ever happened to you? That's just me. If that hasn't happened, that's fine. But that's happened to me so many times. It is ridiculous how many times that's happened to me. So going back to Super Mario Brothers, when we do get a movie, because we will get a Super Smash Brothers. Sorry, I said Super Mario Brothers. So going back to Super Smash Brothers, that will get a movie. It will get a movie. It has to be. In a spiritual way, I don't see none of this happening. Of the Super Smash Brothers movie, because just there's a lot of shit that's happening to this planet. I'm saying that right now. I haven't made a spiritual enlightenment video in a while, just because I'm just focusing on me and just getting back to me. So that's why, and that's why I haven't made a SkullKlown video, because I'm just getting back to me right now. That's just me. So, moving on with this Super Smash Brothers movie, it needs to be animated. This movie needs to be animated. It has to be animated. Look, if it's live action, you better make that shit fucking awesome or good. But I see this as a animated version. I see it more as animated. If it is live action, to be quite honest with you, if it is bad, I'm still gonna probably love it. Because it could be so bad that it's good. But if it's so bad that it's bad, then that's kind of sad. But I can see it so bad that it's good. Super Smash Brothers movie, to be quite honest with you. Because you can make fun of it forever and everything like that, obviously. But you can always point out, oh, yeah, and people hate this. Oh man, they having too much fun here. That's just me. That's just me as a moviegoer person. I just like to have fun with movies. That's how I'm always am. That is the number one thing for me when it comes to movies. Are you having fun? Is the characters intriguing? Does it have a good story? Those are the three things. And if it doesn't have those three things, I'm gone. I'm not even going to listen to you. I'm not even going to pay attention to you. Those are the three things to me that is important for me as a moviegoer, or even a media goer in general. If I'm reading a book, if I'm reading or if I'm playing a video game. Obviously, there's different criterias when it comes to reading a book and playing a video game. Because sometimes you can play a video game that doesn't have a good story, but the gameplay is fucking amazing, and the music is great, or the gameplay might not be that good, but the story is awesome, and the music is great, or the gameplay and the characters are not even that good, but the soundtrack is just And the reason I need to mention the soundtrack is because the soundtrack is literally the heart and soul of everything. Of everything. Me and my friend were even discussing this, like, hey, um, do you think, like, who really owns the movie? Is it the writer? Is it the director? Or is it really the composer? Because the composer actually is the heart and the soul of the movie. Without the composer, you don't have this type of music. So who really made the movie? I think this has been discussed for years, obviously, but something that's going to be thought of probably even more deeply than ever before, in my opinion. Some people probably have, but something that needs to be thought about more and more and more and more deeply, to the point that it's like, maybe we shouldn't even look at these directors and be like, oh, you created that movie. We got to look at these magicians, these music people, and be like, no, you make this movie. No one else didn't make this movie. You did. You know? And sometimes a music for a movie can actually save it, despite some of the story of the acting. It just depends on the movie. It just depends on who you got. You know? It just depends. It all depends at the end of the day. And I feel like the Super Smash Brothers movie, when it comes out, is gonna have an amazing soundtrack. Are you kidding me? Even you guys had to probably agree. Even if a Super Smash Brothers movie will probably suck, right? At least the soundtrack will be fucking a banger. It has to be. If the video games have to stand out, you know it has to be a banger. And if it is going to be and if it is going to be good, obviously, you're going to start off with the original 12 characters in the original Smash Brothers game, which is fine. Because doing it like Ultima, who knows? Maybe they will do that just for the fuck of it, but they probably will go for the 12 characters in the movie, and that's really, and maybe some other characters on the side, basically just maybe they will throw Rob in there, um, which would make sense. They probably throw other characters there like Duck Hunt, obviously. So there's just other characters that would probably they would throw in Ness, obviously too. Obviously he's part of the roster anyway, so the original roster. So and maybe Lucas, there we go, Lucas. Who else? And Kinidity and everything. Mostly every character that you see in Brawl. I think every character that you see in Brawl will probably be in the Super Smash Brothers movie. That will make sense. That would make sense. You know? So, overall, guys, I don't think a Smash Brothers movie should. I think I think a Super Smash Brothers movie should happen. All right, there's too much money to be made, and a Super Smash Brothers movie is going to happen eventually. And if the people out here that say that they don't want it, then you just don't like fun, and you over here just going crazy just because what you think is going to be connected to these movies. It does not not everything needs to be connected. Come on, guys. Not everything needs to be connected. Stop with this bullshit with everything needs to be connected type crap. Seriously, we've been indoctrinated with everything being connected to something. Not everything has to be connected to something. Okay? Not everything. Just again, the Smash Brothers movie would you pay on references and homage to the past and shit like that, and that's all it needs to do, and have a good story. And most likely it would just be the story of a kid playing with his Nintendo toys, and he just makes an epic Final Fantasy story. There, that's it. I even pointed out that if you are going to bring the live characters in to that unit to the movie basically, then they just go through a portal and they transfer into animation. in that world. I don't know, guys. This is just like this is. I don't know why people don't want this, but you know you will watch it. You know you will watch a Super Smash Brothers movie. You know it. You know you would. Even if it was live action, you know you would. Some people even pointed out, wouldn't it be cool if it was a TV series? Yes. If we don't have a movie, I want a TV series of Super Smash Brothers. Could we get that? I want that more. How about like about 10 episodes? That'd be nice. And they could be long as fuck. I don't care. An hour each episode. I don't give a fuck. At this point. Seriously. Seriously. But that's just me. I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Do you think a Super Smash Brothers movie should happen? It will. Well, probably. I'm just thinking about it in another viewpoint. But if it does happen, then I feel like it will go to the right hands at this point. It would, because Nintendo's very strict with their characters, so they probably would do certain things to make sure this movie is pretty good, and the story that they're gonna tell needs to be a generic one. It needs to be something simple. It needs to be simple. It needs to be something simple like, oh, a bad guy comes and we just need to stop him. Yeah, that's it. If you really want to, you can use Taboo. Taboo is trying to destroy the world, and these characters and Mario and them needs to save them. Yeah, you know, you can put more depth into it, obviously, but all for all, that's what most likely you're probably gonna do. Oh, Master Hand and Crazy Hand. Which one are you gonna do? And then by the end of it, you see the kid playing with Mario, trying to fight Crazy Hand and shit like that, and he's Crazy Hand or some shit. You know, something that you will eventually see in something that you see in the Lego movie and shit like that. Because like I said, like I mentioned before in this video, because it would make sense. Because because the whole story of Super Smash Brothers was that a kid is playing with his Nintendo toys or video game characters, video game character plushies. So I'll see you guys later.